Beyond these mountains is Myanmar, what was home for this 18-year-old woman we'll call Maya. But for now, the Kutupalong refugee camp is home for her and thousands of other Rohingya Muslims forced to leave the Rakhine state due to persecution. They killed our families, Maya says. They raped us, brutally tortured us. We had to escape because they burned our houses. We hid and traveled through the jungle for a week. In August 2017, Myanmar's military launched a crackdown against Rohingya militants and extremists. A United Nations report describes the crackdown as ethnic cleansing and possible genocide. The predominantly Buddhist Myanmar does not recognize the Rohingya Muslims as its citizens. Its military denies any wrongdoing and says it was just responding to attacks by Rohingya fighters. In neighboring Bangladesh, the Kutupalong refugee settlement is now the largest in the world, with more than 750,000 refugees living in an area just 13 square kilometers big. The government of Bangladesh gets help from the UN Refugee Agency and different NGOs for the refugees' needs. This includes livelihood projects and temporary employment. 24-year-old Mohammed Youssef appreciates having worked at a bamboo treatment plant inside the camp. Are they happy or how do they feel about it?
Yeah, they are happy.
Mohammed says the money he earns here is for his family's health and food. But he still wants to go back to Myanmar. If we get our citizenship and our freedom, he says. Maya also feels that while her training at a sewing center in the camp empowers her and many other Rohingya women, it's still not home. This is not our land, she says. We experience a lot of problems here. In our house, we are 8 people crammed inside. We cannot move freely. While Bangladesh and Myanmar have signed a repatriation deal 2 years ago, not one refugee has returned. Myanmar has not given any guarantees of citizenship or freedom of movement for the Rohingyas.
We don't see right now the possibilities for return. Conditions for return are conducive for movement. Our work continues. That support from the government and protection and assistance that we collectively provide continues. And that can only continue if the world's focus remains here.
For some human rights groups, more than ensuring that the Rohingyas' repatriation moves forward, Myanmar should be held accountable for its atrocities. They say the Association of Southeast Asian Nations is in a critical position to push for this, as well as to pressure Myanmar to stop the violence against the Rohingyas. Myanmar is a member of the regional bloc. ASEAN members Malaysia and Indonesia are also hosting hundreds of thousands of refugees. For the United Nations, the plight of the Rohingya Muslims is the world's fastest growing refugee crisis. But for more than 1 million Rohingya Muslims here in different camps in Bangladesh, it's just a matter of finding their way back home. From Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh, Ruth Cabal, CNN Philippines.